Hi. Before wasting any time, we jump quickly to the definitions of clauses and phrases. And when we use in a sentence, these two things often just mix and intermingle with each other, and we don't know the basic difference between them. If we talk about the basic difference between a clause and a phrase, the difference lies in the subject and the verb in the sentence. Basically, what are the phrases and clauses? Phrases and clauses are the combination of the words in a group form that have a definite meaning, but this meaning doesn't determine that whether it is a clause or a phrase. So the difference lies in the presence of a subject and a verb. A clause is a group of a word which contains a subject and a verb, whereas the phrase is a group of the words that does not contain a subject, or it can contain a verb, but it doesn't contain the subject-verb combination in it. When we talk about the examples of the clauses, there are many examples in which we say the simple sentences that are the clauses. For example, I say, I am feeling well today. That's the example of a clause. And when I say, you look beautiful today, that's a clause. And when I ask you a question, or I say a simple word that I am hungry, or I say, are you hungry? So that group of words that have a definite subject and there is a verb present in them, that's a clause. Now we talk about the phrase. As I told you earlier, the phrase is a group of words that doesn't contain the subject and the verb combination. A beautiful pencil. What? That's a proper sentence. That's a proper group of words. This is a meaningful sentence, a beautiful pen, but it does not contain a subject and the verb is also absent in it. So that's a phrase. When we talk about the high school English grammar, the topic ends here. There is a difference between a clause and a phrase. But when we talk about the high school grammar above than that, and we go deep into that, we learn that there are many clauses type, and there are dependent clause and independent clauses. So the most important here is the independent clause. Any clause that is independent, as the word says, it's not depending on the other part of the words or the other group of the words for its meaning to be interpreted in the right way. Means an independent clause can stand on its own, whereas opposite of it is dependent clause. A dependent clause is the one that cannot stand on its own. It needs an independent clause to complete the sentence. Dependent clause, there is also one way to identify the dependent clause. Dependent clause often starts with the words like although, since, if, when. Although she's hungry, although she's hungry. That's a complete sentence and it's making sense, but its meaning is not clearly understood unless an independent clause will complete the sentence. Hope you get that. But when I say, although she is hungry, but still she will give her some of her food, means although she is hungry, that's an dependent clause, but she will give her some food. That means she will give her some food is a totally independent clause. Its meaning is clear, you can use it alone, but although she is hungry, that is not giving a true meaning in a sentence, and it requires some other clause to fix with it so that its meaning could be understood more easily. Hope you get that. Now basically when we talk about the difference between the two, the clauses and the phrases, the things are there, but as you know, I'm going to get into the detail. So there is also the phrases types, Now I'm going to tell you about the phrase again. A phrase is a group of the words that does not contain the subject-verb combination in that. It can also be used as a single part of a speech. Being help, a good blue shirt, beautiful eyes, these are all the phrases, In the air, this is all phrase. But when we say love is in the air, there is a subject in there and it becomes a clause. I think I will tell you in some other video the details that there are also the types of dependent clauses. For example, there are some noun clause, there are adverbial clause, there are adjective clause. and we will cover this topic in some other video because it will be too long for you to listen that